We're just waiting for people to join, so if you're watching this after the fact, that's why nothing's happening right now. So just waiting for people to get in here. Just doing some work down in the shop. We're going to be answering some questions that people have commented. Doing a few things all at the same time here. So if you've just joined, gonna wait for a couple more people to join in. We are starting right at 12:30, so let a couple more people, if they are catching this late, join in. But just working down here in the shop, I've got a bunch of questions that people have asked on how to start a sharpening business and how to gain more customers. So we'll wait a few minutes for people to join in that are maybe running a little bit late, getting home from church or stuff. So a couple things that we're doing out in the shop. We're making a leather chin strap and doing a helmet shield. But this topic isn't going to be about leather work. It's just being me working and talking to you guys. So we'll just give a couple minutes for people to join in, and then we'll get started. So I'll give about 30 seconds here. And this will be posted up later, so if anybody's joining in late, they can go back and rewatch it. So let's see which one I want. I'm going to be doing some laser work here in a little bit, so trying to find out which file. 21. This one here we'll be using. All right, so if you're here, you're probably wanting to know how to start a business, leather knife sharpening business, or how to get more customers. So my name is Evan. I am the owner of A Cut Above Knife and Leather company, formerly A Cut Above Knife Sharpening. So I took few notes of the most common things. The first thing you're going to want to look at is, what's your competition in your area? Do you have any competition in your area? I don't know where you live. Maybe you don't have anybody. Let me turn this a little bit so you can see me instead of everything else. So do you have any competition in your area? So you're going to want to look at, what do they offer and what can you offer better? So for me, mine is turnaround time. So I offer 24-hour turnaround, which means that I am getting stuff back to the customer within 24 hours of them dropping it off. That is my goal. That's been my goal since day one of starting this business, is getting stuff back to the customer as quick as possible. Because if you're using your knives, it's kind of crappy that you're without your knives and you have to wait for them. So getting them back to the customer as quick as possible. Sharpness. How sharp are you making your knives compared to the competition? Me personally, I know that I am putting a mirrored edge on every knife that goes out the door. I know my competition is not doing that. I've seen what they've done. I've had customers bring me stuff from them, and I'm very satisfied with the result of the product that I'm sending out the door. So with that said, the sharpness, I want a mirrored finish every time that leaves this shop. So what's that look like? So I have a 4-step process that I use. I have 4 different grits that we run through here. Starting out at 120, we re-bevel the edge. We get a nice burr going on it. Then we work through the grits to 12,000. At 12,000, we are at a mirrored polished edge. So when that goes back to the customer, they're having a very sharp knife. Now, what's that mean? A very sharp knife means that you're probably going to not require to have it as sharpened as often. Well, that's you just told me that you want more customers, but how are you going to get more customers if you're sharpening their knife less frequently? Well, there's a catch there. So if you're sharpening more frequently than your competition, your customers are going to go back to that person that's sharpening less frequent, because it's less money out of their pocket. So if you sharpen your knives better than your competition, so sharper, better quality, then they're going to come to you because they're spending less money with you. And they're going to go tell their friends. They're going to go tell their neighbors, hey, go to a Cut Above and get your knives sharpened. I've only had to take them there once a year versus every 3 months. So taking your knives. So I see I got a couple more people that are joining in. So we've just talked about the number one thing to boost your business and start your business is checking with your competition. I don't mean go ask them questions, but kind of go covertly, go sneak by or ask questions, get on their websites, see what they're doing, and offer things that they're not doing. So for me, it's 24-hour turnaround. We're talking about sharpness now. You can go back and check what I've already talked about. So without rambling and going back and forth, in ease of drop-off, I was going to get some pictures to lay in there, but I have a Dropbox at my location. It makes it super easy for my customers to drop off, makes it super easy for this guy because I'm busy all over the place. And a customer can hit me up, hey, I got some knives I need to drop off. I'll shoot them the code, and they can come by and drop off at any time. I say any time, but I mean within reason. My Dropbox is, let's call business hours. Don't be coming by my house to try to drop a pocket full or a handful of knives off in the middle of the night. That's not going to be good for you, and it's not going to be good for me, and we're going to have police involved because I now have strangers walking up to my house in the middle of the night with knives. But Dropbox, that has been the most beneficial to my business, is having that Dropbox, and it's lockable, so they're secure. All I require, and all you should require, is just a name and a phone number. A name so that you can put it on the package at the end of the day, and a phone number to contact them when their product is done. Again, within 24 hours. That is a huge benefit that a lot of people aren't doing, is 24-hour turnaround or less. So, Dropbox. One-stop shop. What do I mean by one-stop shop? Well, if you're starting out in the knife sharpening business, you are going to get customers that ask, do you sharpen this? Do you sharpen that? Do you sharpen circular saw blades? Do you sharpen chainsaw chains? Do you sharpen garden tools? Can you sharpen this pair of scissors that I've had for my grandma since 1920 or 1820? Or whatever the case may be, if it has an edge and you have sharpening in the name of your business, you're going to get asked it. So are you going to start doing that stuff, or are you not? Are you just going to stick to knives? Are you going to do ceramic knives? Are you going to do serrated knives? What does that sharpening business look like? And you don't have to define that right off the bat. You can change that as time goes on. But if you're going to start out sharpening, you need to get really good at that, or get really proficient at it, so that you are better than your competition down the road, if you have competition. Because you want customers to come to you versus your competition. Now, saying that, I don't want my competition to go out of business, because we're all here to make money, right? But at the same time, think of, like, you got Burger King and you got McDonald's across the street from each other. They want the customers to go to one versus the other, right? But there's room for both of you. You got Walgreens, CVS. Please don't sue me. If you're CVS or Walgreens, Burger King, McDonald's, don't, just figuratively making point here. You don't want each other to go out of business, right? There's room for both of you, but you want customers to go to you versus them. So, one-stop shop. For me, it started out just knives. I didn't do ceramic, didn't do serrated. So over time, that started coming into my shop. How many times are you going to tell your customers no before you start reinvesting in the business? And okay, now I'm going to do chainsaw chains. I'm going to get really good at doing chainsaw chains so that my customers come to me. Now I'm going to do circular saw blades. So each time that you start having customers come to you, and you're like, okay, I've got 20 customers that have asked me in the last month, do I do salon scissors? Now it's time to reinvest in that, get really, really good at it, offer it up for free. Go to salons, be like, hey, I'll sharpen your scissor. I'll sharpen one pair of scissors for you, and I'll do it for free to show you my service here. And then when they see that in return, like, oh wow, these are really sharp. These are sharper than Joe Blow from Sharpening ABC. If you have a business called Sharpening ABC, I apologize. I just threw that out there. Again, don't sue me. Don't sue me, please. So, what sharpening system will you be using? Are you going to start out with stones? Nothing wrong with stones. I've said this 100 times, probably say it 100 more times. If you sharpen with stones, that's fine. If you sharpen with a work sharp, that's fine. If you sharpen with a belt sander, that's fine. If you sharpen with a one Harbor Freight 30-inch belt sander, that's fine. Whatever system you use, get really good at it. Now, the reason I use the work sharp sharpening system is it is fast. I have a per hour quote that I try to meet, and that's where I want to be. So time is money, money is time. So if you are spending a lot of time on stones, that's probably not a good return on your investment. So that's why I use a belt sander style sharpening system. So what sharpening system are you going to use? Get good at it. Cry once, buy once. If you're going to buy really cheap, you're probably going to have to buy multiples of that until you find a system that you really like. So what sharpening system are you going to be using? Like I said, get great at it. Sharpen for your friends and family first. Sharpen your own knives. Get really good at it. Dull them out. Practice. Get good at it so that when you do go out to the public and you're trying to get more customers, that your customers see this. You see how perfect you are. Golly. Sound like a babbling idiot here. They see how perfect they are, and they want to come back to you. And then they start telling other people. It's free advertisement if you do really good. It's really bad advertisement and bad reviews if you do bad. So that's why I say get perfect at it. Get better than your competition. Spend extra time. Take the loss in your time. Make your time free. But when I say that, it's going to benefit you in the end because you're going to get customers. Maybe from the competition, maybe not. I don't know. Depends on how good you are. So get good at doing it. I'm going to say that 100 more times because that is the most important thing about getting customers and starting a business. Get good at it. To get good at it, how did I do it? Go to Goodwill. You can buy a bunch of knives for cheap. You can haggle with them. Go to garage sales. There's knives all over the place. Go down crappy side of town, you probably find a knife on the side of the road. May steer clear of that one. Yeah, don't do that. That's actually a bad idea because you don't know what that knife's been used for, and now it's in your possession with your fingerprints. So stay away from the knives on the side of the road. Talked about the Dropbox. I got my Dropbox off Amazon. I can't find the particular one that I bought back in the day, but I did find one. It's like $300 now, and it's got a solar panel on it. It links up to your phone. You can open it for your customers. Just some sort of like industrial package Dropbox is what I use, and I use. Can you see these style bins? I put those down in it to segregate off the different customers' orders so that when sometimes they'll drop them off in plastic. You'll get them in all different drop-offs. People drop your stuff off in different ways. So just having a way to segregate those so that you know whose orders which order. And it's helpful if they write down how many knives they have. But again, you'll see them dropped off in multiple different ways. Inside my Dropbox, I have like a little, like those acrylic sleeves that you see on cash register areas that have flyers in it, and I just put some manila tags in there with a pen that people can write their name and their phone number and put that down in there. Also, place where they can keep or put their money if they're leaving a check or cash, which gets me to the next. How are you going to accept payment? Are you only going to do cash? Are you going to take check? Me personally, I take check from local people only. So if it has an address from my particular city, I will take that. Or if it's from a business, because businesses typically don't write bad checks. I mean, it does happen, but it's going to be very far and few between. So what kind of payment are you going to take? PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, Apple Pay. Oh, there's other ones. Are you going to be doing it all online? So I use QuickBook Intuit. Intuit? I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know. I didn't do good in English, as you all can tell by my videos. So QuickBook, the nice thing about that is I used to do everything on these carbon copy receipt books, which isn't bad. I did that for a couple of years, but then I would go back into the computer. I would input all that into QuickBooks for the end of year taxes, because the tax man is going to want to know how much money you made, unfortunately. So that was an easy way to get a file at the end of the year. It told me my income, told I could link it to, I had a business account that I could see what I spent, what I made, just all that stuff for ease of taxes. But the nice thing about QuickBooks is you can accept credit card and debit cards through that, just sending it out through an email to the customer if they send you an email and want to pay with a credit or debit card. It also, you can set up, if you're doing mobile sharpening, is people can swipe a card there on the spot. You can input it into QuickBooks. You can send them receipts. They can tip you. It's another way to earn some easy profit because you are providing a service. Everybody wants a tip. It's kind of annoying when you go to kind of a fast food style place and it says, what do you want to tip the person? It's like, you didn't do anything besides listen to me and you still got my order wrong. So why do I want to tip you? You know, but you do how you want to do it. So how are you going to get paid? Packaging items for customer return. I have all different size of these guys right here, because people are going to drop their knives off to you. Granted, they're probably dull, but they're just going to be any which way. Sometimes they just hand them to you and they're not in anything. Sometimes they're in a plastic Meijer or Walmart bag. It's kind of comical how people will drop their knives off to you. So when you get done sharpening them, they're sharp, right? So you want some way to protect them and get them back to the customer without, one, damaging them, and two, hurting them. I mean, God forbid they get in a wreck and these knives go flying in their car, and now we just create a really bad scene. So these plastic, these cardboard knife sheaths are, in my opinion, a must. You can get them from several places. I get mine from a distributor in Ohio. I believe it's called Noom, N-O-O-M, or N-O-O-N, or I believe. Don't quote me on that. You can get them from China sources. I would steer clear of it. I like to support other U.S. companies. You do what you want to do. It's going to be a little bit more to support U.S., but at the end of the day, it is what it is. Maybe they're getting them from China. I don't know. Whatever. At least I know I feel good. Sort of. So I packed them up in that. I use some butcher paper. Pardon me. Excuse me. Coming through. I use stuff like this. My colors are black and orange. So I got some black craft butcher paper, whatever you want to call it. And I wrap it up. It looks like a package of meat that you get from the butcher. Me personally, I think that's kind of a good look. It's a professional looking look. I have a small shop. My stuff's everywhere. I got stickers that I put one on top. You know, it just, if you look the part, customer's going to think you're the part. So, you know, I've made this comment. A lot of people get mad by this comment, but fake it till you make it. If you can fake it really good, people are going to believe you. I'm not saying that you're faking it, but if you look the part, your customers are going to have a good feeling about you, and they're going to think that they're going to believe. Let's put it that way. They're going to believe that you are top notch, that you are a cut above the competition. So if they're just handing them back to you the way that they got them from you, and you're packaging them up, taking time and putting some care into it, they're gonna feel better about coming back to you, and they're gonna feel really good about telling their neighbors and the other people around them, like, hey, this a cut above, Evan over at a cut above's taking time. He's putting these into them. He's wrapping the knives in that. He's got paper that he's packaging them up with. He's got a sticker on it. Man, he's top notch. And how much extra time did it take? How much extra money did this take? I mean, over the course of it, it doesn't take a whole lot. The initial investment's going to be a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's worth it because you're going to get more customers, and those customers are going to return to you because they trust you. They believe that you're putting the effort in to make a good product and make a good sales pitch. So enough about packaging items for return. Advertising. Your customers are your biggest advertising agent. They're free, but essentially they're gonna go tell their friends and family about the great service that you provided to them, the quick turnaround, the sharp knives, the packaging. You see how everything kind of ties in together, and that's gonna go out to the world and just spread like wildfire. So that's probably the biggest thing for getting more customers. You look the part, you are the part, they're gonna go tell, and it's gonna come back to you. And also that twofold of having a sharper knife than your competition comes back to that is your customers are going to go tell Susie at the bake sale, and she's going to go tell Harry over at the bridge game, hey, these knives are really sharp. I haven't had to have them sharpened nearly as much as I used to, and that the word travels. Let's see here where we at. Advertising. So, social media. Are you on social media? Are you on Instagram, Snapchat, MySpace? I don't know what you're on. Do you want to be on any of that? Me personally, I don't want to be on it, but at the same time, I have to because I can get a lot of views from all over the nation that way. Website. Are you going to put out a website that people can go to, see your pricing, see what you're doing? Again, you look the part, you are the part, you look professional, you are professional type deal. Do you even know how to do a website? I didn't, but I'm sure you have somebody in your close-knit group of people that you know that can and help you. Then let's trade services. Hey, I'll sharpen your stuff. You help me with a website. The back and forth. See how this is working? You help me, I help you type deal. And that's exactly how my social media and my website got to where they are today. Is my website. I have a close friend that's what she does. She does marketing for big sports teams and builds their websites and puts that all together. So I was able to ask for help. Actually, she offered help. Said, hey, your website looks like hot garbage. and I did the best I could. I got the bones to it. I got the basis of it, but she went in, revamped it. There's something called a search engine optimization, SEO. I still don't know what any of that really means or what it does, but she did, and she was able to make it all work and interface with Google and all that. So if you don't know particularly how to do that stuff, there's somebody in your contacts and list of people with the way the world is now that does know how to do it. Reach out to them, sharpen their stuff for free. Do it above and beyond what you're doing for your customers. Make them really happy because they're going to help you in the end. So website, vehicle. You're all over the place driving around. Maybe you're even doing the sharpening out of your vehicle, or maybe you're like me and doing it in your very, very small and inadequate basement, but it works. So vehicle, get a decal. They're cheap. Go on any website. You can get stickers. There may be a local sign company that you can get something for your vehicle. Sponsorships. So a lot of you have seen I have sponsored a drag car. This will be my second year in a row that this was on a drag and drive. And my logo was plastered on the back of this car, and it was nationally aired across multiple different television sites, website. It was all over the place. That was good public vision. They see the name, they get intrigued by it. It's a catchy name, and it's on the back of a drag car. So sponsorship. And at the end of the day, it's a tax write-off. So it's going to help you when you go back and tax man wants his money. Joke's on you, I did a tax write-off, so So buy a set of drag radials for a car, get your name on the back of a car, be able to tax write-off that. It's a win-win. You get customers. That it's really helped the leather side of things. I've been able to do a lot of leather work for companies people down in the area that this car was showcased in. So sponsorships are a good thing, or you can get sponsorships. So reach out to companies. It never hurts to ask. No matter how big or how small your business is, Ask. Ask companies, hey, I'm starting out, work sharp. Contact them. I contacted them. I'm not telling you to. You do whatever you want. But I contacted them and said, hey, I'm starting out. Is there any sponsorship programs? Is there any way you can help? And I got a discount code. So it never hurts to ask. I reached out to another company on a product, and we got to talking, and he saw that I was a veteran. He went to my website, saw that I was a veteran, and sent me a complete package of a sharpening system for free to try out, just because I was a veteran. So it never hurts to ask. What's the worst that someone's going to tell you? No. Okay, you're in the same boat that you were in 2 seconds ago. What if they say yes? That's pretty awesome if they say yes. Or you just make those connections. I've made a lot of connections along the way just by asking. It get over the pride of asking for help or handouts or freebie, whatever you want to look at it as, because if they say yes, that's money in your pocket or products in your hand to try out. So ask for sponsorships, ask for help, ask for things like that. I have an American flag at my location, and underneath it, I happen to cut above knife sharpening or knife and leather company flag flying below it. So when people are driving by, they see it. And also when customers are looking for my location to drop their items off at, bam, right there, that's the house that I need to go to, or that's the location. It's a lot easier than giving a street address or people in Google and all the different MapQuest, whatever, the paper, TomTom. They'll send you to the wrong house 9 times out of 10, it seems like, where people are like, I'm on your street, but I can't find it. And hey, it's the one with the orange flag that says a cut above on it. That's a good way. So again, this stuff all costs money, but over time, as you get customers, reinvest back into the company, these things start paying dividends for you. Business cards. Business cards are cheap. Get them by the thousands. Make them flashy. Make them look like something that a customer is going to pick up and not throw away. There is a thing called Dot that is an electronic business card that I'm looking into. That seems to be a really good idea. You just tap it up to the phone and all your information gets integrated into their whatever platform they're using. But business cards, take these to your local businesses, local barbershops, local breakfast place, local coffee shops, and usually there's an area where you pin them on a board or you throw them out. Ask them, hey, can I put my business card here? And drop it off. People see it, they'll take it. And again, you may get 1 out of every 20, you may get 1 out of every 50. I don't know about your local area, but business cards are a good way to get the name out there, and they don't cost hardly anything. Every customer order, whether they're a repeat customer, whether they're a new customer, gets a new business card because they are cheap. And if it sits on their counter, then Jerry from across the street comes over, hey, what's a cut above? And they tell him, hey, that's a really good guy. He sharpens my knives less than 24 hours. They're super sharp, blah, blah, the packaging. And again, it just keeps going on and on. So conversation can start from a business card. Take them with you. I took these down to Alabama. I ran out in no time flat because I do firefighting leather, and I was at a firefighting training center. So if I get one customer out of that, I've paid for 3 years of business cards. More than that, because I think I pay $20 for 1,000 business cards, and I ran out of 20 business cards in seconds. So you do the math. Business cards, cheapest way to get your business out there. Like I said, go to local restaurants, establishments, offer to sharpen a couple of their chef knives. So what I have found is a lot of the big chain restaurants have sharpening services where they will send them knives, they'll doll out, they'll send them back, and it's just this mail service back and forth. You can't compete with that. Don't even try. It's a waste of your time. It's a waste of your effort. What you want to do is go to your small local mom and pop shops, your small restaurants, your small typically your chain restaurants, like we all know the ones, has an apple in the name or a spicy pepper. You know what I'm talking about here. Go to the small businesses that are local to your community and say, hey, I'll sharpen a couple of your knives. Or go to your local party store that serves fried chicken. and say, hey, I'll sharpen some of your knives for free. Here's my business card. If you like it, give me a contact, and charge them lower than what you charge your normal day customers, because they're a commercial account. Treat your commercial accounts better. I shouldn't say better. Give them a better price, a bulk price, because you're going to sharpen more frequently for them because they're using them more often, right? So if you sharpen more often for somebody, reward them. I wouldn't say treat them better, but you know what I'm trying to say. For your commercial accounts, give them something enticing to come to you, because likely they have a really junky sharpener that is just horrendous on the knives. They're just getting by. They're ruining their knives. Go in, fix their knives, do a really good job the first time. Do a good job every time, but do a really good job, make them impressed, and they're going to go to you, and they're going to contact you, and then your advertising, your work is just going to keep perpetually doing its own thing. So go to your local restaurants, go to your local salons. If you're into salons, scissors, beauticians, whatever you want to call them, barber, shears, scissors, offer to do one set of each beautician, hairdresser, whatever you want to call them, whatever they call them in your neck of the woods. Do one pair for free for everybody. Give business card. Hey, when they're dull, give me a call. I'll come by. For me, I go to local salons once a year. It seems about 9 months to a year. And I sharpen everybody's in the salon that's there, or we set up a date, and I do it all on site, because most beauticians will not give out their scissors, shears for more than an hour, because they're using them. They work quite often, and they can't be without their shears, and they are very, very expensive. So this is another one. Get very, very good at. Go buy scissors and get very good at sharpening these, because if you mess these up, this could bankrupt you in a heartbeat. Not necessarily bankrupt you, but it's going to cost you an arm and a leg, or an arm and an eye, an ear. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to cost you. It's going to cost you drastically to replace these, because some of them can be $300, $500. They get ridiculous in cost. So get very good at it before you go marketing that you do salons, shears. Watch some YouTube. Watch my YouTube. I don't know. You know, the guy's got some channels on there, or got some videos on there. So another way, we're still in advertising. Word of mouth from friends and family. Your friends and your family, maybe you don't have friends, I don't know. Maybe you don't have a whole lot of family around you locally. Maybe you live off in the boonies, but still, friends and family are your biggest supporters, typically. Unless you've made enemies with them, then they're not going to be your biggest supporter. They may be the worst support. But typically, friends and family are going to put the word out much more frequently and praise you up a little bit more than you will. So go to your friends, go to your family, sharpen their stuff, and do a really good job. And they're going to go out and they're going to tell people for you. And again, less work for you, right? We're all here to do less work, but get more money. That's kind of the name of the game. So some other things, starting a business. Are you going to need a DBA? A DBA, for you that don't know what that is a doing business as. Your local jurisdiction, city, town, township, whatever, burg, is going to have requirements on how you run a business. If you're doing this more than a business and you're making money, I advise you to follow your local city and state codes on how to start a business, because at the end of the day, this is going to have implications on your taxes, and you're going to have to file that. I mean, it'd be great if we could all just take cash and not have Uncle Sam follow us around and take his cut of it, but at the end of the day, that's not how this works, and I wish it were, but it's not. I file my taxes. I report every dime that I make, cash, credit, you name it. I have to keep myself safe and keep my family safe. So do you need a DBA? Typically, that's only a couple bucks. You go down to your clerk's office, you file it, and now you're registered as a business. Do you need an LLC? Limited liability corporation. I am currently an LLC. Do you need insurance, business insurance, to protect you if somebody gets hurt on your property, or just the different avenues, or if you damage something of theirs, or they come back and try to sue you that you've done something or lost something? People are crazy. They will do anything to try to take you and get money from you, or burn your company to the ground, figuratively and maybe literally. Depends on how big of an enemy you've made. Another thing to think about is where are you going to do this at? Are you going to do it from your home? Do you have a brick and mortar store? Are you in a shop somewhere? Are you doing this out of your van or car, like doing it mobily, traveling around? Me personally, I do it out of this shop here. People come to me, and products go out from there. And lastly, reinvest in your business. So the first couple of years, you're probably going to break even or even less. So the money you get from your business, put back into the business. Get better equipment, get more equipment, get faster at it, because the faster that you send products out is more money that comes to you in a shorter period of time, which means more products that you can sharpen, or more leather products that you can make in that time. So getting better equipment, for me, is the work sharp. Maybe for you, it's 3 or 4 Harbor Freights with different belts. The less time that you have to change out belts on each machine is faster production time, which makes more money for you. So reinvest back into your company. Reinvest into little things that have your name on it that people see, but don't get overly crazy with it. The pins and the keychains, you can do that if you want, but I mean, at the end of the day, does it really help? I don't know. But business cards if you don't have something that can make your logo for you, invest in someone to do the logo for you. Invest in good products. Invest in your time. Is probably another good one. Is learn of the craft. Watch these videos, watch other videos. There's plenty of people out there that are doing this as a company, as a hobby. Get good at it. Watch how other people do it and make your own way of doing it. You don't have to do your business the exact same way I do mine. This fits me in this area for my time and my full-time job, because this isn't full-time. This is a part-time side gig. Hobby, as you will, I guess, money-making hobby. And do what fits your lifestyle best. Just because I use the work sharp and I use 3 of them doesn't mean you need to get 3 work sharps. Or maybe you do. Like I said, maybe you want to use whetstones, and that's your niche, and that's what you're offering to your clients that your competition isn't. Maybe you're my competition and you want to use whetstones. Go ahead. Do what fits you and what makes you happy. Don't do it because someone else is doing it and it's what works for them, if that makes sense. So that's all I've got really on this subject that I can think of. Those are the top questions that have been asked to me that I've seen across YouTube. Again, I use the Work Sharp Kin Onion series knife grinding attachment. That suits me great for the size of my shop. I have a very small shop. I can essentially touch each side of the wall. So the Harbor Freight 30-inch belt sanders are, from what I see, a decent sharpener. The Tormek, if you guys have seen those, they're a stone similar. This is going to be a small stone, but a stone style, and it turns like this, and it's got, I believe, has water that goes on it to keep it cool, but it's slow. It turns slow, so it keeps the heat down. Those seem to be a really good sharpening system. Again, you can use regular oil stones. I think leather strops. There's all different types of ways to sharpen. But like I said in the very beginning, and I've said several times through this, it's get good at it. If you're not good at it, you're not going to get customers. coming back to you. They're going to go to other people, and broaden your sharpening. It's going to mean you're going to have to reinvest in equipment, unfortunately. But if you're a one-stop shop, people are going to bring all their stuff to you. And then that means more money for you, right? So at the end of the day, reinvesting a few dollars or many dollars is going to gain you more in the end. So it's going to be a little painful at first sometimes, unless you have money to invest in it. If you're doing this as a retirement job, maybe you have a little bit of retirement that you've saved up, or if you're working full time and you're wanting to go to this full time, keep working and make it a hobby, then slowly transition into it at that point. But it takes time to get to the level that you see here in this disaster of a shop, but you'll get there. Just keep plugging away at it. Be great at the art of sharpening. If you have any questions for me, drop them down below. I read all your guys' comments that come across here, and we'll address those in a future video, or I'll message you personally. So if you guys have anything for me, drop it down. If you guys can give me a like, subscribe, that'd be great. But we'll see you on the next video. Thanks, guys.